Short exercise 3-7, we're going to be adjusting for supplies used. On November 1st, Carlisle Equipment had a beginning balance in the office supplies account of $600. During the month, Carlisle purchased $2,300 of office supplies. At the end of the month, they had $500 of office supplies on hand. So our job is to figure out how much were used and then to create the adjusting entry to show how much was used and to update our office supplies account. Requirement 1. The office supplies T account has been opened for you. Enter the beginning balance and purchase of office supplies. Use November 1 as a posting reference to enter the beginning balance and November purchases as a posting reference to post the purchase of office supplies during the month. All right, so over here on my piece of scratch paper, this is my equivalent of a piece of scratch paper, I've got the office supplies account, and notice I'm reminding you that it's an asset, and because it's an asset, its plus is on the left and minus is on the right. And our job is to put in the balances. So I had a beginning balance in office supplies of $600. So here I'm going to place $600. That's our November 1 balance. How much did we purchase during the month? $2,300. So now I'm going to place the same information over here. We got November 1, 600. November purchases, 2,300. Then it says record the adjusting entry. So over here, my T account, I need one more piece of information. It says at the end of November, Carlisle Equipment had $500 of office supplies on hand. So where do I put the balance? Right here, $500. So if we had $2,900 available, and I got that by taking 600 plus 2,300, we had $2,900 of office supplies available. We ended up with 500, so how much must we have used? So the way we do that is we're going to take the pluses, 600 plus 2,300 equals $2,900 of office supplies available, and then we're going to subtract the ending balance minus 500, means we must have used up $2,400. So then you can just double check your math. Does 2,900 minus 2,400 equals 500? Yes. So this $2,400 is the amount of office supplies that we use. So I'm going to put it over here in the adjusting entry. Notice it says record the adjusting entry required at the end of November. Why are we adjusting this account? Because if we look at the office supplies T account, it says, according to this, we've got a balance of 2,900. But do we? No, we've got a balance of 500 according to this right here. So what are the two accounts that are going to be affected? Well, let's just look at this one. Office supplies, notice the amount used. I'm going to put a label on here because it's a really good idea when you guys and gals use T accounts that you use labels to remind you what these are. Used. So this $2,400 represents the amount of office supplies used. So notice I've credited office supplies assets. So the credit right here is office supplies, the asset. And then this $2,400, remember, represents the amount used. So what expense account shows that we've used up office supplies? Supplies expense. Sometimes companies call it office supplies expense. And then we need a balance, or excuse me, an explanation to record office supplies used. And as I mentioned in a previous video, the thing that gets a lot of students on this type of problem is they forget that it's the amount used that goes into the adjusting journal entry. Some students will try to put this balance as the adjusting, as a debit and credit for the adjusting entry, which would be incorrect. Now it says, requirement 3, post the adjusting entry to the 2 accounts involved and show their balances at November 30th. Select the account name of the other account affected by the office supplies adjustment. So the other account is supplies expense, which I've got over here in my piece of scratch paper also. And it says post the adjustments to the 2 accounts using a November 30th posting reference. Why are we using November 30th? Because that's when the adjustment happens. And then calculate and enter the ending balance using a balance posting reference. All right, so all they're saying is, so now that we've entered this adjusting entry, we need to post this to the ledger. And in this case, the ledger is in the form of T accounts. So notice I'm just going to start with the first one. So we got $2,400 supplies expense as a debit. And that happened on November 30th. And then we've got office supplies being credited, $2,400, November 30th. And then what's the balance? Well, of course, we've already done the balance over here, but just double check your math. 600 plus 2,300 gives us 2,900 minus 2,400 gives us a new balance of 500. And notice I'm putting it below this horizontal line. This black horizontal line means we're doing a mathematical operation. In this case, we're taking the pluses and subtracting the minuses. And this, just double check. Is this what they said was the balance up here? Yes, it is. It says, as of November 30th, Carlisle Equipment had $500 of office supplies on hand. That is our ending balance. Therefore, we've done everything correctly. Except, oh, I pushed it too soon. I need to do a balance. 2,400 balance. There we go. And that's how you do the adjusting entry for office supplies. Remember, it's the amount of office supplies used that goes in the adjusting entry, because we need to do that to get to this proper balance at the end of the accounting period.